Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Unsealed and Revealed. Woo! Yay, excitement! We have such an amazing and fascinating episode hold up for you right now. You might notice Bree, usually directly to my left, is not next to me. She's over here, right there. Hi. She's technically next to me, getting close, right? Shout out to Bree on my right, your left, but you can't see. And she is going to be taking your questions, comments, and concerns live on Facebook and YouTube, so don't be afraid to let yourselves get heard. Now, to my left, your right, we have Terry Smith, world-renowned poser. Hey. Is that right? Is it? You are in town. We are so lucky to have you on. We love you on the show. We're so happy to have you joining us. So shout out to Terry and your masterful series, How to Be a Poser.
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
all the great stuff you do. Now, way over there, as always, is my co-host, Sixth Scale expert and acting CEO of Stark Industries, Guy Klender. Guy,
hey everybody.
How you do? You excited?
Yes, I am. Yeah, well, you know, when you get a special guest,
you are. It's funny because you
want to do it.
You're
a special guest.
He's a fan of yours, Terry, as well as being a compatriot. Also a fan.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's nice.
Should I be worried?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason that the desk and the chairs are.
Okay, there's a pretty good buffer over
This
here.
is court order.
Yeah,
Exactly. By design.
We have a fantastic piece. We have the Sixth Scale Magneto exclusive from Sideshow. I'm really excited to get into this, and I know, Guy, you are as well. So we're going to crack into that. Don't be afraid, for all of you back home watching live, to ask your questions and comments to Bree. She's right over here, mic'd up. We didn't let her on camera. She wasn't wearing a full jacket, and the rest of us were, so it was kind of a whole thing. No, but
Jeff, I thought you said
Jacket
two
required.
sweaters equals a jacket.
she's wearing two sweaters.
Two sweaters
so
equals
count
a
it.
jacket.
We'll count it.
This isn't like hat day.
It kind of counts. But every day is hat day.
Every day is hat day.
So without further ado, Guy, why don't we crack into this beautiful baby that you got right here, huh?
Let's take a look. So this is the next one in our Marvel series of Sideshow's comic characters. Let's take a look up at the box. We've got our X-Men logo there. Your sticker to announce that you are the exclusive. Down here, yep, okay, good. We can see it. I'm checking out the monitor. We have a little bit more of that line art that we've seen with the other.
It looks like, is that Jim Lee art, or I don't know who it is, but it's comic art, right?
Yes.
It's very specific.
Yes. Sadly, I'm not seeing that it doesn't have like the names of the artists down on them.
But as we get inside, because you're going to look in some of the box art, and I do see it as well.
Yes.
Yep.
And we've got them. Also,
cool.
there's some of the line art on the side. It might be a little harder for you to see, but yeah, there we
That
go.
is,
But
I
anyway,
believe that is Jim Lee. I think that's from the X-Men number 1D
There we
cover.
go.
From there.
Yeah.
One of the things
On the side it is, yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out, and I don't think we do enough, to the Sideshow graphics art department. They are the ones that put these boxes. They do the designs. They're utterly fantastic. They put so much work and effort into that, and I'd like to shout out more. Oh, look at that! You got the X-Men number 2 cover, where I think if you were to pan down, he'd be like kind of choking out Charles in that cover. But then to the side, that's that X-Men number 1. That's the X-Men 1D cover right there.
See if you know this one.
That's X-Men 1E. That's for the gatefold cover that they have on there.
And who is that figure down there?
That would be Iceman. And that one, I can't 100% tell you what specific iteration that is.
All right.
But, I think the art is also Jim Lee. It's got that.
But the important part, and the reason that I'm glad that you were able to, is that use of the art.
Yes,
that we've seen.
Such a great decision by the graphics art department.
Yeah, I'm liking that they're pulling those in.
Yeah, it's great to work with that lace. I love the insides of these boxes.
Yes, let's see if
let's get in there.
how my best way to do this. Turntable, maybe?
Yeah, I think if
Very
we
close.
just yeah.
Oh, yeah, tight.
All right.
Oh, there
So
That's
what's
taking me
neat,
back.
and again, we're talking different eras as far as when we get the inside.
Yeah, you see some 60s era stuff, some 90s stuff. I mean, that one, obviously.
If you don't know what your figure is.
Yeah, that's
It
where they
says
were
right on
attacking Asteroid M.
So, but again, that's the neat part, and I'm really, really liking that on these particular figures. Then we've got our slip down
Which is a 60s style artwork in there. So
Yes!
they kind of went back to that style. Kirby, right? That's.
I'm going to hand this over to you
Oh, cool.
and see if you
Close
can
look.
distinguish what it is while I talk about what we've got here.
think that's Kirby.
So
No, I don't think it
the little slip cover on there is to hold the fact that this is a 2-tiered tray. Again, so we're going to pop off our top tray. And I can show you both trays. Okay, your lower tray is going to have your stand.
Oh, that base looks cool.
Yeah.
Yes. The exclusive and specialty hand, Cerebro, and the additional helmet. This is a neat stand, and it's one that, because Terry's here, we can talk a little bit more about, because it is a little bit different than the standard
Yes, it
one
is.
we've
Yeah.
seen. Is there's actually the
It gives you options, which is, I'm always a fan of options.
to have the smaller
There's
one.
your standard.
So you can have the
Yeah.
stand
Underneath is done, and perhaps we'll pass these over to Terry to help us out with that a little bit later.
Sure.
Get to work, Terry.
Got to earn my keep
We
around
didn't,
here.
bring you on here to have a tea party. Start
Exactly.
posing.
All right.
I was promised tea.
Here is one of the neat exclusive items, and that is the Cerebro.
Cerebro.
It is really cool.
All right.
Old school Cerebro.
The wiring here is actually metal. The rest is going to be
cool.
plastic, except for actual wire used on the ripped.
Space shuttle. No.
So, yes, yes,
not-
it
it's
is.
not- it's not that. Okay,
when they
cool.
decommissioned one of the shuttles, they used the wire. So, which is part of the recycling program that NASA is now doing in turn with Sideshow.
It is definitely not that, by the way.
No?
So.
Oh,
no,
oh.
I can't make that claim legally on this show.
Okay.
I can.
You also cannot.
Oh.
Additional
Oh,
helmet.
the color is great.
Bright pop.
Yeah, that metallic really, really.
Yeah.
Really
You
black.
can see. You
Hits
can
me right in the
literally see
feels.
our studio lights in there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. That reflection is really cool. I think you can even see cameraman Brett in that reflection.
can see
a little
Brett.
bit.
Hi, Brett.
Shout out to cameraman Brett. He's waving. You guys can maybe see it in the reflection.
Now, inside, see there's a little,
Little pokey
Yep.
guy coming out.
And that's
and
gonna-
that is for your exclusive hand. Sideshow's been doing this with the figures we've been talking about, where the peg is already in there for you. So you have your additional peg. So that's each of our extra hands is going to have that, and this is that thicker joint, more up at the upper wrist versus the wrist to hand connection. There, on the top of the kind of crystalline wave, see the little, and that can be either used with his
Oh, that's cool.
Magneto hand.
I've never felt less creative than when I see what the creative people that work here do. Mm-hmm. You know, when they're like, "Oh, we found a way to make it look really cool," like Magneto's helmet is floating, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't draw any of that. I can't do that. Conceptually, if you gave me a stack of Legos, I would just make a tower.
So,
That's
but a really good tower.
Nope,
Very
not
sturdy?
even.
No, okay.
It probably wouldn't even be even.
That hand also is used with our Cerebro. So I'm going to spin the turntable around there and drop it back so you can see that that also has the same type of attachment.
That adds a certain level of menace to that piece too, because it's like
yeah,
he's
this
like,
is-
"Oh, I just invaded
That's
Ray Malkin Lane."
Yeah, this is part of the exclusive. Definitely the reason to get it, and having a master poser right next to me, I think
That's me.
I would probably be in agreement that you're definitely using this accessory.
At some point in time, I think.
Yeah,
we
at some
can
point
count
in
on it,
time. But again, there we go. There, let's kind of try and I'm going to try and spin it around in my hand, but you see how it.
Terry Smith posed this in a cave.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, spectacular! I like everything about that. So and now let's get to our primary tray and our figure.
That's Magneto.
This is Magneto.
Hey, Guy,
Yes.
are you cosplaying today?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna go with it. Wait till you see when I do
Was-
my Tron Legacy outfit.
Was this an intended outfit?
No.
Or is this just because you look so much like Obadiah
Nope,
Stane
I just
from
chose to
Iron
throw
Man.
a suit on because I did hear we were going to have a guest. And as those of you who watch the show know, I'm really a fan because I happen to love what he's doing.
It's so funny that I can watch a show where we're playing with a Magneto toy on camera and then just be like, wow, you're a nerd.
You're an absolute nerd.
Dork. It's like, I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
So, our upper tray, or primary tray, we're going to have our figure, our 4 additional hands, our extra head sculpt. The reason I've kept the plastic on, it will have plastic on the hands, feet, and around the waist. The reason I left it on the head is just to show how safe they've made this for you in the, I hope it doesn't get scratched. There's the plastic on the upper head, and we talked about how shiny that one is. When we lift that off, another
It's
one
you.
there.
It's
And
Charles.
now it's me.
It's the Xavier
This is the
twist.
shaved me from the first few episodes of our show. Weisenheimer.
You watch your mouth. This is a family show.
Now, so anyway, I wanted to show how protected it is, particularly when you're. We've already discussed here how bright and shiny, and take a look at that one.
Yeah.
Intense that helmet is. They've given you 2 helmets, and both of them have that little bit underneath, and it allows. It's gonna easily go right in, so you won't have to worry about trying to align the helmet correctly. It's already set up for you.
I eat this helmet?
You could, yes, that's got a
That
chocolate
jolly
center.
candy-like helmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are peanuts.
No, eat the
though.
helmet.
If you do have a peanut allergy, don't eat the
You have
helmet.
a packing peanut allergy.
Don't eat it. All right. So now we've got the figure there.
Jumped right out of a panel.
Let's take a look and work our way down and discuss the figure as well. So this portrait here, if we can get a close-up, has that white, Jeff, we'll call it the comic book eye.
Yeah, the
power eyes.
The powers eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always call
Okay.
that whenever someone was using their powers. they'd be
Okay,
like,
great.
I don't need pupils to control the weather or
Big
magnets.
storm, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
good. So that's what we're going to call it now. I like that we have a terminology for it. But this is your Magneto with that. All right?
That's Magneto.
That is totally boss.
Yeah.
What I like about Magneto is the decisions that you can make facially with him, because he's a very stoic character, generally speaking. And generally, like, the faces, it's like he's always just kind of like sternly letting you know.
Stern to furious.
Yeah, like sort of like upset grandpa, which is the best way I can describe Magneto.
take that back.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen.
It's
my fair
interesting
share of
that you
upset
say
grandpas.
the upset grandpa, because the other head sculpt that we get is
this
a
is-
much younger looking
Which
Yeah,
Magneto.
they
That's the whole
really-
Siege Perilous thing, right?
Yeah,
With-
it's so remember when he was this isn't the Joseph character, but remember when he came after sort of Age of Apocalypse, he was like the Joseph, and he was like 25, but he had like the silver hair, and everyone's like, oh, Magneto got hot, but he still is.
So there's hot Magneto, but really neat.
I think he just moisturizes.
No, that looks
I think he's
great.
Yeah. Oh,
For someone without hair, I'm really envious of Magneto.
This is also indicative too, and I know you probably don't have a lot of
The
space to bring the the box up, but the X-Men #2 cover has that sort of like kind of shaggy hair that's coming off that Jim Lee had drawn, and that's very indicative. So if you go to the bottom part of that box, you will see that the hair on that sort of matches that sculpt. If you look at the bottom, that's the
Can we-
top. Nope, that's the
Other
top.
side.
There, wait, is it?
Are we
Oh, was it there?
Is it the inside?
talking the or are we talking the
Oh yeah,
inside?
it's that right there. Yeah, you're right.
Inside
You're
here?
right. No, you had it. You're
Okay.
right.
Can
So
we
that
see
right
those
there,
together?
If you go in there, you see how it's. You see
Yeah,
how
it's kind of
swept
wind
in?
blown the same
and it does
direction,
have
yeah.
that indicative, like taking the iconic image of sort of Magneto. He took the helmet off. He's been going through some stuff. The wind is going through it. He's having a bad day. He's not feeling it. So it was nice that sort of Sideshow did sort of have that swept feel to it. you know?
And one of my favorite things is anytime you get 2 portraits.
Guy,
Yes.
That's a good
is
day.
there a wire in the cape?
Yep. We're going to discuss. So I wanted to work our way down from head to feet, and of course, one of our favorite parts of the show later on. You're really gonna like today's.
You know what?
You know what?
Magneto's wearing a wire.
Yes. Okay, so yes, just asking about the wiring. We've got wire running down both of the sides. Okay, or what we'll call the front version of the cape. And then in the back, we also have 2 additional running down along those stitch points. Okay,
Good.
That's kind of a new. We haven't seen something like that.
have we seen like a 4-wire kind of thing? Normally we get around the bottom or maybe down the side.
It,
But
I want to say in a Batman figure.
I was going to say a Batman.
Maybe a
piece
Batman,
might
okay.
do it,
but
again,
it's
giving you
uncommon.
a lot of posability, and which I'm.
Yeah, that excites me.
It's neat.
Legitimately excites me.
Why?
Is it,
Because you do the poser show.
yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Okay. Inside joke.
I thought that was going to
Inside joke.
land better.
it fell. It definitely fell. So that's posability there. This is done out of a kind of a thin silken, so it's really going to have a nice flow to it when you do your.
Is it like a polyester or?
Yeah, I would say so. Let's. You know what? We've got a second pair of hands that's used to handling these. What are we saying? A polyester?
That's Magneto.
I'm no expert on textiles, but and fabric. This is not a natural fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But one that I think is really going to be neat to hold
Yeah.
those poses. I think because of the 4 wires and the weight of it, it's not heavy,
No.
but it's not a super silky.
Those 2 things in conjunction with each other, they're great conjunction.
Is the great conjunction.
The colors
What's it mean?
are fantastic. By the way, the way the colors pop, the red and the purple,
Yeah.
live are so good.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of use the wire to pull back the cape so we can take a look down at the arm.
Magneto's been hitting the.
He
Yeah,
has
he's
been hitting
back,
the
man.
gym hard. The shoulder cap on this guy, we're seeing all 3 peaks on it. The design on the arm is a very, very muscular version. Okay? We've got a 90-degree bend on there. Okay? This doesn't have the additional...
He's not swinging from the.
Correct.
From
Yep, we don't have the additional
Manhattan
kneecap.
That's fine.
Sky.
Also, on this one here is, and I think this is probably to keep the suit from getting twisted up and messed up, is we don't have to worry about a bicep cut
Right.
on this one here, but we can still get that play out doing it there. As you know, it's fun to have Terry here because I was going to say, as you've seen on Terry's show, is when you have this fabric is just those small tweaks when you're
Yes. Bit at a time.
when
Twist
yep a
and-
little bit at a time, and it will go to where you need it. You know, you can continue to kind of line up your stitch. Okay, out of the box, he's going to come with the fists. All right, these are nice tight joints. They're not necessarily ratcheted, but they are a nice tight joint. You're going to give a little. It's going to hold a pose real nicely. Same type of fabric used in the cape down on here. No, not a removable suit. I know that gets asked usually pretty quick. Not a removable suit. I'm going to lift the cape over the back to show that you would probably never.
This is the pose that I want to go for, Terry.
This is the
Which why
wind
wouldn't you?
really got out of hand.
Yeah.
The wind swept the hair, then just swept up.
Look
the
at that
cape.
lat spread.
But,
Look at it.
but also look at the printing on.
I love that stitch print
on the outfit
that they put on.
Okay, really neat. And this is a raise. It's a printed on. Okay, this isn't just a paint line. It's actually a slight raise.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All right.
piping. It's a
That piping is really rad.
yeah.
So you've got the piping down in the back. Since we've got it up like that, the belt is loose, and that is just so when you're adjusting and posing.
Yeah, pay attention to that because
Yep.
you don't want that to drift and float.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. But
That's where he puts his Magneto ranks.
he's got his
Yes.
the buckle in the front to kind of assist you
And it's shark repellent.
where this. Yes.
his Magneto shark. repellent.
Magnetic shark repellent. Again, those lines are then coming back on the
Yeah,
floor.
I was going to bring that up. That's very indicative of the comics design. It's funny because when we had the X-Men films and they went with a very sort of different direction, and yet the iconic Magneto design is just so strong and it lasts. It's so good. Like
It's very rare that they've deviated from that in a significant way. I mean,
Yeah.
you get the white suit, I guess, on that.
but a nearly 60-year-old design, and it still really holds up in a really cool way.
Great motion in the waist and trunk area.
Awesome. You know that I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We talk about cutting that line. And this one here, really, really big range of motion on that one there. And again, that belt, you can move around so you get it in the right spot. But what I like is that I'm not going, particularly with the twist, getting it where you want. I really like that.
Yeah, that just really opens the door for so many great poses that you're going to be able to hit
exactly.
with that.
Exactly.
In that Jim Lee, in a comic book style, especially.
Yeah, right. Because that's the dynamic aspect of it is really cool, and Sideshow really brought it. With this piece.
Okay.
That's my pose right here.
Yeah.
Yes, this is his.
Da Vinci's too.
This is that
true
cable
movement,
stretch.
yeah.
So this is Jeff doing the cable stretch exercise at the gym.
Nailed it.
It's spectacular that they were able to capture you doing that. But no, it is pretty neat when you look at his arms from behind.
Jeez,
The
man.
way
The muscularity on this thing is really, and it's not overly. It's.
I was going to say, I don't know if this is the sculpt, the fabric, or both, but the way the light is specifically hitting this, if you put these on in a display that's well lit, it just pops so good. Like, we've done a lot of really cool pieces in here, but this piece specifically, the way the light is hitting it, really pulls it out. It's such a good highlight to it.
With the shoulders, we're just about straight up. Okay?
Which is great.
Yeah. Any further than that, you don't need that with the character. He wasn't an arm straight out flight kind of.
Put the cape in his hands, and he could be like he's like a
He does
beam
have
of
other
the
hands
night.
we could show, but you want this?
Yes.
And is
He's
this
doing-
the
he's-
want to buy a watch?
I think this would be villains are a coward and superstitious lot.
You know what? Another wire. Now that we've got it displayed like that,
Wow.
we've got a fifth one that runs down.
Wow, good job,
I was actually
Jeff.
going to ask
The
if
back.
I was hoping that there were 5. You said 4, and I was like, oh, why aren't there 5? Well, there are 5. That's good.
There's a fifth right down the mid there. Much more hidden than the other ones, but pretty damn neat. Now that you've got that.
Well, then, yeah, for me, that's a perfect cape. That's exactly what I love to see in any cape is a 5-wire system like that.
Well, then when I hand this guy over in a second, you're gonna
be so
you're gonna
happy.
dig on it. So I mean, we could even switch places.
The cool part about this is at the end of the show, these two actually have to fight with their fists to see who gets to keep it and
The
take
figure,
it home.
guy in the
You-
figure.
you
Me and Guy.
You and
Yeah,
Guy
okay,
have to do
cage
that.
match.
That's-
I
you
did
didn't
not
know
know
about that. You signed contracts.
That's
I
sweet.
never
There we
read
go.
the contracts, Jeff.
Ratchet on the legs. Okay. Again, that's going to be able to hold those poses. Not that this is how Jeff would do his, right?
I think
Pretty much.
every time we've done a stupid pose, it's been
Mid-cartwheel.
this is how Jeff would do it, which I think is pretty indicative of how I exist in this world.
It's
Doing cartwheels?
it's consistency, and that's what we like.
It's consistency of me just doing stupid.
But the nice part is with those tighter joints. Okay, now let's go down to the knee joint. Again, nice and tight, and a little bit over 90. When you're going far, don't have to say it again, but Terry would tell you. This is where you're going to get some of the bunching up of the fabric. So that's when you're going to kind of go slow and tweak it as you're going. If that is how
Yeah, maybe
deep-
don't make Magneto be kicking a field goal in your.
You know, we
your
go
pose.
over all
Or
of
if you're
it. We
jumping
try
off
and
of
go
a
over all of it.
speaker
And you know why do we put it like that, Jeff? Why do
So
we
we
do
can learn to pick ourselves up.
that? You're darn right. It's so we can learn to pick ourselves up, pick our feet up, and
Tread
watch!
Time for the tread watch. This is really cool. Take a look at this.
take a look at those.
Dang.
He is a tap dancer. That was only in one issue, right?
That was in X-Men 140.
X-Men 145.5.
Well, these
Wow.
were my tap shoes.
Sideshow Mel contributing that.
No,
No,
but
this
these-
is not.
those are
But
not tap shoes.
Magnets at the bottom. That makes sense. Like, because if we want stuff fly, you just put those.
Oh, yeah.
So those
The
are like
propulsors.
his rocket propulsors, but they're not.
That's
They're just
great,
magnets.
yeah.
But he can lift himself up with that. That's so cool.
I dig those, Trez. And the neat part is with this, and I do want Terry to kind of play with the guy on the stand, is I have a feeling you're going to
putting me on
really...
the stand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we want to get some levitation on this character, particularly because it's going to allow us to show off the boot.
That's such a cool
what's
sense
that
of
a
a
boot?
smart detail to add into it. And a thing that like most people would say, nobody's going to see the bottoms of my Magneto shoes. And yet still the designers were like, yeah, but we're going to put this really cool thing that...
Can you do a tight up on... Okay, great. So we're going to have that stitching in the front,
Very good
even
texture.
down on the bottom heel. We get that kind of 3 leather piece stacked, which is nice. And again, as we've seen in the Batman and some of the others, when they have the ankle that can be articulated, this is a little looser that allows me to, once I've got that foot where I want it, I can drop
Oh, that's cool.
the
So you lift it up and then you do the
the
movement
cuff.
and then you drop it back.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Again, having somebody who poses these all the time, it's nice to have him here. He can say, yeah, that's not what you're going to do with a pose. But this is more about, as we've talked about on the show before, is showing you your range of motion.
That's what the show does well. It just showcases all the...
So again, I like that in that I'm not stuck with the stiff boot or anything like that. So I like that they've done that with these here. So let's take a look at some of the other. Yes.
Is the fabric more forgiving to stay in dynamic poses for long periods of time?
I feel that this is because again, it's more of that polyester style. So it's not the rubberized ones that we've seen in some of the others. So I think it's probably a little bit more forgiving to that. Let's take a look at the armpit area here, and you see the tight stitching there. And I'm not worried that if I had the arm out there that's gonna kind of pucker or gap or get weak. I'm not.
Yeah, it looks...
No, that's a fabric and some stitching that inspires confidence.
Exactly.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it with this particular figure. I know that when we did one of the Spider-Man, right in the instructions, which you are supposed to read.
That was the Scarlet Spider one.
Yep.
Why though?
Where it said, "Don't leave it in dynamic poses."
Are you an instructions guy, Terry? Do you read them?
Don't even know.
He's
See that scene?
he's not looked at them.
Guy is a big
that's
time
okay.
instructions
That's okay.
guy.
I'm getting better about it. Guys, am I getting better?
I mean, I think we can have two styles, two houses
Yes.
of
Both alike.
In Fair Thousand Oaks,
Which-
where we live.
I
Which
look at
house
them.
are you in, Jeff?
I'm in house. I can't. I don't have any of these. I can't afford them. It's too nice.
House of M.
Yeah, I'm in House of M.
Which house is your dream in?
My dream, the house of my dreams. I'm going to be honest. I'm not much of a rules follower.
Nope.
I'm more of a toy breaker by accidenter. No, I probably wouldn't read the directions.
No.
Well, I'm
Sorry,
Team
dude.
Guy. I would read the directions.
Bree would totally read the directions.
And well, there's a reason that I read them.
'cause
I
you're a
have
nerd.
broken
Yeah.
a ridiculous amount of
Yeah.
toys in my life, and had I just looked to find out I couldn't do that, I probably wouldn't
I
have
just
done
watch Terry's videos and he tells me what to do. So.
that. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. That's
As I
where I
say,
hope
as I
that the
do.
shows work in conjunction, and you are watching them both. If you get this figure, you pre-order it, it arrives, and you go, now I want to see some neat poses that I can do with it. And feel confident about it. I think that's where Terry takes over, and I love it. My best friend back at home, I love that he watches every episode, that he can no longer fear posing his figures. That doesn't mean that when I come home at Christmas, I don't like to do like 15 or 20 at a time. That's kind of fun. So.
That must be fun for him.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's what he waits for. Let's take a look at the additional hands. Okay, we have the specialty
Yes,
one.
let's.
Okay, with the levitating. We've got 4 others. As I said, out of the box, we're going to have the fists. These are kind of neat, and we've got one. I think they called it a magic user conjuring, something like this. Kind of a unique little.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you see that, and yeah.
That's he's like, I'm lifting up
Yeah,
something
yeah.
out of a swamp.
But then these are more the I'm crushing things.
Yes, that looks like I'm
Yes.
gonna crush somebody's helmet with them.
So, Jeff,
Here I'm
which
gonna
hand?
put your
You're going to choose the left hand. Are we doing the magnetic or crush?
crush, man, come
Crush.
on.
Okay, we're crushing.
What about me says the subtlety of slight magnetism versus the brute force of crushing?
So, yeah, there you go.
I've almost crushed this helmet 6 times just having it in my hands.
Should I
Yeah,
not?
maybe
have
take
you-
this away from me. Here, Terry,
What are
why
we
don't you
doing?
toss that over to Guy?
Yeah. Jeff can't have nice things.
I shouldn't handle it, Charles.
All right. Pop off the other. Well, wouldn't you know, we went and were able to get the hand up, but we didn't get the large peg. So I'm going to hand this to our posing expert. And see-
Hand. Yeah.
take a look and pull this out. Again, this is what we've talked about with the... See, I didn't grab the players today.
Guy,
Yes.
can you go over again the which helmets go with which heads?
Okay, let's take a look at the different ones. All right, out of the box, you will be separating this head here and the helmet that it comes with. Okay, and there's the second one. Okay, to me these look identical. I'm pretty sure they are identical, and both do have underneath. Lift these. Both have underneath the levitating. The one is a little bit larger. I think this one here might be a little wider, but they sure as heck seem pretty identical.
You get a spare.
Well, the one is you're going to use for the levitation.
Yeah. So that way, if you want Magneto and he's like, let me see how this other one might look, you could have him holding up, you could levitate his other helmet.
Yeah.
You could have a dual helmet.
The
Magneto.
slightly more narrow helmet, I think, is the one that you're probably going to use for this.
Yeah, you want it a little more snug. Charles.
All right. And then,
If you shaved, you'd be Charles.
yes.
And right now,
And if I could grow the beard overnight, we'd do that. We'd just switch it out every time. And there, if you want to have him levitating his helmet. And I think with this one here, I'm going to be using that windswept portrait. And I'm going to be using the Cerebro.
I would like to talk about how Terry is instinctively pre-posing the figure.
I-
Pre-posing, how'd you do on those pegs?
I just can't not pose. It's I did fine on the pegs. I had to implement a tool.
Okay.
Yeah, that I use frequently.
Yeah, this would be the time I didn't have my toolkit out. All right, I am going to hand
Too
over.
busy bringing a suit.
Yeah, exactly. Too busy dressing up. We're going to hand this over to our poser. Oh, he's going to hand it right back.
I'm going to bring it back. Yeah.
But that's okay,
Bring it back.
because we're going to have you do it on
do you
the
want me to?
stand.
Do you want me to do it? Because I'll happily do it.
I want you to do it.
And I'll
on the
happily
stand.
watch you both figure out what to do here.
It's not
Hang
very
out and
often.
Talk about Magneto, who I used to call Magneto when I was a kid.
You too?
I have been terribly afraid.
High
of
five
people-
me on that
yeah,
one.
There it is.
Yeah.
Now I want to I don't want to lose nerd cred.
We totally had this conversation yesterday.
Even when I
About
was watching the cartoon, they called him Magneto. I was like, no,
That's not
okay,
right.
it's not like he's got the powers of a magnet.
right?
But now I guess it makes sense with vowels and consonants. I don't know.
I
How many of you?
started out calling him Magneto, and then I had this conversation with some friends, and we agreed that it should be Magneto. So I did that for years until the first X-Men movie came out, and then it became Magneto.
Even before the cartoon, the animated
Oh
series.
yeah, this was in the '80s.
Magneto.
Yeah.
When you mean the first movie, you mean the
first
Pride of
movie
the
is when
X-Men
I-
or
no
2000?
X-Men 1, the first
Charles.
McKellen.
I'm a big.
I said Picard.
It's the same thing. What about you guys? What did you I want while we're all figuring this out, you in the comments, were there any characters whose names you pronounced wrong? I would like
good
to know that. That would be something. I know.
Yeah.
I also called them apocalypse
For me, it was Wolverine.
because I was
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, so there was that.
when I was.
Check that out.
Look at that. Oh, that does look pretty cool.
Neat dude.
I've taken your helmet, Charles.
Charles is no longer in charge.
Oh, that was really good, guy. That was
was
a
it?
good
Was it
reference.
really?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Even
Good
even got
delivery.
him up a little bit on the foot.
I'm up on my foot, Charles.
Just keep it going, man. Just keep
Well,
it going.
he has those tap shoes. So this is a part. Look at how the wiring goes. This was just a quick one. This was the hand swap. Should you and I switch places and you can
You
No,
want to
this
do
is
a
your show,
tag
dude.
out?
No,
Your show.
I almost want to tag out because I'd like to see what you would do
Tag you up
with him and talk a little about the stand. How do you feel about that?
I'm comfortable with it.
Okay,
All right,
Yeah.
so we're going to do a tag out.
So we're gonna do a
time.
quick tag
this
out.
This is the song. And
Whoa! Cool, and I
just going to hit that.
This is exciting for me.
Let's talk.
I get to watch this part live.
Wow, Unsealed and Revealed's new host.
New host.
Terry
I feel
Smith.
like I feel like that guy that like walks onto the set of his favorite talk show when nobody else is there and he doesn't think anybody's watching and he just sits down. and
I've gone
starts-
over into your studio and played with the
I've got a studio.
While you were at lunch.
Nobody told me. All right, so my role here is I need to implement the use of the stand, right?
Implement the use of the stand and talk us through why that stand is
Okay.
different than kind of our standard
Yes.
stands that we've seen.
Turn our show into your show.
So the way this stand works is it provides increased stability in a pretty unique way, a way that's unique to Sideshow here. You have a 2 grabber system here. You've got your typical groin grabber and you have the old school waist grabber working in conjunction to maximize the stability of the character while they're on the stand. So let's see if I can just get this to come up just a touch here because we really want to get him some. We really want to get him a little bit of height, right?
Charles.
So yeah, you've
not
got a
gonna
good,
stop,
you've got a
sorry.
really solid start here. I'm going to do my typical twisting of his waist and get him out here. I'm going to bring this arm in just a little bit, if you don't mind.
No, this is
Yeah.
Why would we mind, man?
I don't know, man. People mind some really weird things.
no,
Yeah. Have
no.
you read the
this
comment
is- this
sections?
isn't like my toy.
as we
If I
reference your show a lot,
Yeah.
this is a stand that I've not really played around with and utilized. I mean, we've done the dynamic stands that we've seen with the Hot Toys, and kind of more our standard crotch grab.
What?
Is that what we're calling the stands?
I go for groin grab.
Groin grab?
I like
Groin grab,
I
never
feel like
mind.
G,
Okay.
I like the consonants.
I feel like
and,
I
you
could
know.
like to veto all of those.
I think it's just like a U stand. We'll call it a U stand.
A U stand. Okay.
Sideshow Mel comes in with the U stand.
Would have
And
been
that
nice to
seems-
know a few minutes ago, but
Cool.
So
before we
do
did it.
have-
But I like that one. This one here being able to get the height.
Okay, real quick, Bree, what do you got for us over there in the chat?
We do have a general question for everybody about how what you think of the base and the environment that the base provides.
I like it. I like the idea.
Well, do you guys recognize what's going on here?
I'm assuming that's a
Tell us.
magnetic field.
It's
It's
the
like
repulsion.
that thing when you like take little iron filings and
Yeah,
sprinkle
and
them
drop them down on a
and
magnet
drop
and
a
they-
magnet and they
Oh,
just
that's
that's the
cool.
effect that's
Yeah.
recreated
Oh,
when
I
you
Yeah.
do something like that.
Think about that.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that looks pretty cool. I like it. I like. I mean, are some people saying it's too thick? Like that the base is too thick? Or
I
something?
think some people like, more of a environmental scene. Some people prefer it this way. Just
Okay.
want to know what all you think.
I understand. Well, I think if we did an environmental, you do that idea of scene specific, and because this one falls under that idea of concept,
Yes.
Yeah, like comics.
the concept
You're
or
thinking
comics.
you're thinking comic book cover as opposed to comic book interior art,
Exactly.
sequential art.
Yeah. So I get the idea that you might want that. I think this is really neat versus a basic black.
And more power to you if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you may choose to not use the stand at all.
you want to throw some magnets in your display once you get it? Go ahead, man.
Exactly. But
Have some adamantium bones hanging out. You get to do whatever you want once you own it.
Bone.
what I like about this is the idea of the 2 portraits. It would have been fine to just do the helmeted portrait, and if they were going to do 2, they could have had one with, what are we calling the power eyes?
The power eyes.
And kind of one natural eye.
I honestly like
But
100%. This is the sculpt, the head that I would use.
Yeah.
I would use the.
I like this and the use of the
He's so handsome.
of the Cerebro.
I would do either the Cerebro or I would do that with his own helmet.
Now, as we're seeing where Terry does this, is another reason we talk about this in the show and we don't do tons of poses, is posing is those minor little tweaks. Is over and over and over.
It's just like he's saying,
kind of rough.
alas, poor Charles.
It's kind of roughed out now, but
Oh, that's
Yes.
really dope.
that's kind of where I'm at.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
And if we lift it up on the turntable and we turn around, you can see those
okay,
magnetic
yeah.
shoes.
Oh, finally, we can get our
Final-
magnetic shoes.
Finally, we see the.
you just do it by
hand
manual?
Yep.
Yeah.
We see those magnetic shoes.
Obviously, I haven't touched the cape yet.
Nope.
but,
That would. But again, you've got so much posability in the figure itself. he wasn't a character who used guns and weaponry.
No,
he has used his power.
Except as a
as a crush it or
to turn them on
remove
those
it
who
from
did.
somebody.
Now there's also ways that you can
Thank you.
like see how I've got this waist grabber right up here. That's actually kind of sloppy of me. That was a sloppy decision. What you can do is you can have it
Fired.
down below the
Down
the
below.
belt.
What I was going to say is, I would lift the belt up, put that on there, and then you can kind of
Sort
tuck
of
that
cover it
belt
a
back
little
down
bit with
because
that,
That
of
seems
the
a little below the belt.
It might just be.
No. Wow.
Wouldn't be
Fire
the first
me
time
right now.
wouldn't be the first time I hit Magneto below the belt, but it might be the last.
Hey yo.
Okay, yeah.
It is cool how you automatically made just such a cool pose. And I was just like, oh wow, that's a art.
Yeah, and this is before you've worked with the cape. So again, when you're doing these at home, most of the fun is playing with them and figuring out what you can get and going, that's not quite right.
I think one of the interesting things too is I don't know. I think we're all members of the Let Your Geek Side Show Facebook group, and I get to see a lot of people's collections, and I think a lot of people would benefit from sort of the Terry's stuff on the posing and everything, and these sort of really not aggressively dynamic, but really regal posing. I think is really fantastic. Dynamic posing usually to describe like really huge
scenes.
movements and actions.
I typically prefer that, yeah.
I would think you would, but something like this, where it's Magneto, who's not really a gymnast, it's so much more than just having him stand there holding it. Just by twisting the torso a tiny bit, moving the legs a little bit, and putting a couple of extra minutes into the posing, it makes this piece really kind of explode into real life.
Yeah, and we haven't adjusted the U stand up, or like as Terry said, kind of the waist cinch, but you tweak with that and you get those.
It's just a matter of giving the character the dignity that it's due.
Yeah.
I said that right? Dignity that it's due. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy,
Yes.
do you ever recreate poses that you see Terry do?
You're darn tootin'.
Awesome.
Yes.
You trying to toot? Because we're tooting.
Because we're tootin'.
out here.
Yes, of course. I'm one who enjoys playing with them. When I get a new figure, it's a couple of days. I'm just playing around with it. One is just to learn it.
Yep.
And go, okay, what does he do? Oh, this twists or that twists, or what kind of accessories does he have, and what kind of element do I want him to exist in?
Magnetic elements, because he's Magneto.
Boom. This is probably now why they put the space between us.
This is a violation of my contract.
Exactly. But yes, I do recreate some of the poses, and what I like about Terry's show and why I reference it so often on here is for those people that, and myself included, if you're new to the hobby or you've been in it a while and you go, oh, it's always great to have a refresher course. It's, I write documents all the time and I forget there's a few quick keys on Word that I could have done that.
This is like taking a class at the Learning Annex.
Yes. You're having fun with this.
I'm having way more fun.
Yeah, I was like,
than
let's
I
just see
would.
how
I
he.
mean,
If you talk about a little bit about the stand, because that's a stand I haven't used with mine.
Right.
And I mean, I know what it allows you to do. What I think
So
is neat
much.
is it allows that additional height.
Yeah.
Your Superman, Magneto higher up or something like that. It elevates that character in your pose and in your scene
That's Magneto.
more than the others.
Flying.
yeah.
Can
Is it
Magneto's
Magneto?
helmets?
Isn't it Magneto?
Can Magneto's helmets be perched on the magnetic effect as well?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm really happy with this.
Isn't it neat?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Man, I don't
Ready
know
to
how
swap
many
back?
times you guys need to look at this
no,
on
we're
the
just-
microphone.
No, I'm going to do this with you.
Okay.
They were asking, can we swap out Cerebro
Yes, definitely.
for his helmet?
I just thought it'd be really funny if he screwed up the pose and then Terry just became like a huge diva about it.
I can't because I would do that.
Terry,
Yes.
is there a movie or a cartoon scene that you'd want to recreate with this Magneto figure, other than the pose you've already done?
I think I already have, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, just there's for me, it's more to do with the idea.
We're just
So
gonna balance it.
nothing really comes to mind. But if it did, there's that bit, and I don't even remember which movie it was in, where he gets the. He's basically levitating an entire football field or something, right?
That is in Days of Future Past.
Days of Future
Yes.
Past, yeah. When he does that, I was just like, okay, that's legit. I mean, this is why he's Omega level.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I know they've just recently redefined Omega level in the comics and are basically narrowed it down and made it more specific, which is really cool. But he is at the maximum of what you can expect of somebody with his power. You can't get any higher than that. He's Omega level because there's no way that you can become more powerful with magnetism than he is, and that showcased it. So, yeah, while I'm not really typically actually mimicking that with this pose, that's definitely in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the final way it would rest on top of it? I
No,
yeah, I think
there
we just
is
kinda
the
were like,
I'm having to look up in the lights, and this is so I couldn't see where you've got the there's the little hole and peg for his magnetic helmet. I kind of perched it up there to show you that yes, you can do it, and it is sturdy enough in there if you wanted to have it a little bit different than the full-on levitation.
Okay, yeah, it's just kind of resting.
Yeah, see how there's the
there's
peg
a hole
up
in
top.
there. Yeah, just trying to.
Yeah, you'd want to
like, the way
have
that-
you'd want to remove the hand and then put it in there.
Exactly
before
what I was
actually
gonna.
do the
That's
posing.
exactly what I was gonna say. Like this is not the ideal way to do it. The way that I'm trying to do it right here. I'm just kind of looking up. Like,
Yes, that is where we do have a bit of limitation on our show is that not doing everything on the
There
cuff
it is.
there. There we go.
There it is,
I
Charles.
totally had to do it by touch.
Yeah, you gotta,
Yeah.
and
That's your mutant
I
power.
find that
It is.
that's a lot of what I'm doing when I'm first learning the figure is doing it by feel and going, okay, all right, this, it's nice when there's the ratchet thing, but the other is you go by feel. What's my range of motion? Okay, I'm getting a little resistance. This is it.
How's it feel? Good.
Look at the eyes.
That's
Look at
Magneto.
the eyes.
Nice, intense glare.
He's handsome.
Lovely color, icy blue.
Look at that.
Bree, any other questions on?
No other questions so far.
Well,
Thanks for answering everything so
Sure.
far.
I mean, I
guys.
think we covered. A lot of cool stuff in here. This is
yes.
a really cool piece.
Isn't it neat?
Careful, there is a
thank you.
microphone by your head.
Thanks for the
that
scoop.
I feel like several times we may have benefited from that information.
That wasn't in the manual.
Yeah, the Magneto, I think I like the pose of him being in more of a contemplative or reflective
there's the-
pose.
Yes.
It's certainly, Magneto being aggressively actiony, just it seems almost like it cheapens the character. It's almost like action is an annoyance to him versus him just doing magnetic
he leaves
stuff.
his action to his minions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like I've got a brotherhood of evil mutants.
Yeah,
to
why would
it.
I want to lower
I've
my-
got a toad guy.
That.
Why would I want to punch you in the face when I got a toad guy and a blob?
deal with this
Yeah. Why would
nuisance.
Why would I ever do that? That looks so cool. Guy, you're blowing it here.
Sorry.
What are you doing? You're
There we go. If we pan down, you're going to see there's the additional head sculpt with power eyes and the cerebro.
look at that.
It's got some pretty good height on it. You don't typically get that height.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've got him levitating.
Yeah.
A good.
It's a good system.
good 5-6
Yeah,
inches.
for a levitation stand, it's a really good system. It's kind of brilliant in its simplicity and but yeah, it works.
Well, thank you for playing with me.
Yeah,
Here,
sure, dude. Thanks for
it's,
giving me the opportunity.
It's neat to have.
Guy's been waiting for this. Like when we found out you were coming to town, he's like, "Can he come on the show?"
Yeah,
And I said no, and I was.
I have you to thank for this.
Yes, I've
They
monopolized your
didn't
time. I'm
force me
sorry
on
about
you or
that.
anything?
Because I know you have to get to posing other
I've got
figures.
plenty of time. Man. Yeah, I'm here for a
So,
while.
but thanks again for coming in, and we hope you're enjoying. You and of course our audience is enjoying watching the show and getting to learn a little bit about the figures before they arrive on your doorstep.
Wow, that's the thing I was gonna say. I don't even know why I'm here. Why am I?
What
am I doing here?
You're the handsome one.
I'm already criticizing my parents.
Not even now.
I'm trying to throw you anything over here,
Can I
buddy.
come on this show more often?
Welcome
Anytime,
to
man.
Compliment Town. All you need is a jacket to enter.
Or do sweaters.
Or two sweaters. Two sweaters equal a jacket.
That works. Or if you bring your own 6 scale Magneto exclusive from Sideshow, you can also we'll let you into the party. That being said,
Love the color pop on this.
I think we're about to wrap up. One of the cool things is that you guys answered questions before they were asked. I noticed there were a couple of things that were about to come.
Oh, okay.
You guys got to them before they even got the chance to answer them. So again, if you want to check this piece out, go to side.show/unsealmagneto. You can get a good look at this piece right here. If you want to grab it, you can do that. This exclusive is really rad. The wires and the capes, really cool. The extra posability, the heightened stand, super cool. He can't stop. He's obsessed.
He's messing with my cape post.
He is. Can you?
I'm just yeah, I was.
How to undo a poser's work?
No, that's again. That's what you're gonna do. Yep. Now I have to spend the next 7 hours putting it back to what your pose was. So I want to you asked. If do I do that? Yes, I got to fix it.
I want to do a shout out. Thank you so much, Terry, for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. You've been really accommodating. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I know, right? We're so nice and generous and kind here. It's kind of our thing. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, of course, to Guy Klender, my 6th scale expert and co-host, and of course, right off here to the left of you, right of me, we have Bree taking your questions, comments, and concerns in the Facebook and YouTube Live. So thank you, Bree, for coming by.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, you're welcome. I decided that you would be here. Don't forget, we have so much great stuff to offer you on social media. Join our Facebook group, Let Your Geek Side Show, and you will be told of all the really cool stuff that we have coming up, all the live videos and stuff. YouTube as well. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so you know when we're about to go live with some of these really great shows. A lot of Terry's stuff is coming up on there real soon. We've got a lot coming from you. I'm really excited about
so much
that.
Content, yeah.
I want to thank all of you. Check out all the amazing content that Sideshow does produce because it really is top of the line, and I really love being a part of this. So thank you from Guy and Terry, Bree, and myself. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much, and come back to our next episode. And as always, don't forget to let your geek side show. Bye.
Hey, did you like that video? Be sure to subscribe by clicking the S icon on your screen and click that bell icon to be notified whenever a new video is posted. If you'd like more info on the items featured in this video, click the link provided under Product Info. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to let your geek side show.